Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Always down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
That's my cue, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's doing well. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Fucking took me long enough to realize that. I hope everybody's doing well today. If you would like to tell me what you had for dinner, go ahead and tell me what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. Oh, thank you, MB. You guys are so sweet. My hair is braided and then like, I don't know, clipped back here. Christopher Engleby. Always nice to see you, my friend. Oh, thank you. Do, 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 do. We miss you when you're gone, Chris. Always thinking of you. You guys are so sweet, sweet. Um, I am practicing for jury duty this week. I sussed out my travel plans to get there in time. In fact, early enough to get myself a Tim Hortons coffee, I think. I might just bring my coffee, but we'll see. Depends. I think it'll make me relatable to come in with a Timmy's. Even though it's Timmy's in my mug, like this is a Timmy's. Oh, don't drop it. It's also really hot and fresh because I just made it. I also have this cold and fresh Coke. I haven't decided if I'm gonna open it yet. You know, there's this like short window of like perfect timing. Mm. Well, it's always Timmy's, but you could show up with a Starbucks coffee and be a different kind of person on a jury, you know. In fact, I think closer to the I will actually, Chris. I gotta put it back on my list. Um, I really do. But like I can't drink it if it's not super cold. So like it's and I don't know if I want like just one good sip. I think I'm gonna save this, get it cold, and then you know, later. Um, because my coffee is real hot. I check that with my chin. My hair, oh my God, is so gray. It's okay. It's okay. We're not talking about that. Um, but uh I do believe that the Starbucks is closer than the Tim Hortons to the courthouse. I don't know though. Things change downtown quite a bit. I don't always go downtown every day. I don't go downtown every month. Let's be realistic at this point. But anyways, uh, I hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, we posted a video yesterday. We did a live. I'll be posting a video later today, and we're gonna do the live now. So that's great news. Um, Vicky, thank you for the thanks about the thumbnail. I appreciate that. Working on thumbnails. How you doing, Sven? Working on thumbnails, working on lurking. You know how it goes. Uh, Oh, Judge Webster, right. I was like, what are we starting with? Shmeow, shmeow. Oh, I was going to talk about it. The wind. It is exceptionally windy here today. I mean, I live on an island in the middle of the ocean, so a wind is to be expected. It's pretty normal. But I live quite inland, so it's less windy generally. Now it says it's windy right now, 34-kilometer-an-hour winds. So that's pretty high. Yeah, my humble brag about living on the island. So it's just like everything's blowing. That's what she said. Mhm. Oh, is Streamlabs being a jerk? Not hanging out? Oh, I can just hear it. I doubt you guys can hear it, but I can hear it. Okay. Um, Anyways, let's get going to Judge Webster in Kansas.
Ok, sería todo, gracias.
That would
No,
be
no,
all. Thank
no.
you.
You're welcome.
Gracias.
Un placer. Buen día.
Being in recess on Reyes, we will now take up the gentleman in the jail. Are you Andrew Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Lopez, before I take that up, I think that's the only other person that might need Spanish language interpreter. But if you want to ask just for good measure,
¿Falta alguien más?
Absolutely.
¿Cómo?
¿Hay alguien más que necesite intérprete?
No, no.
¿Nadie más? No?
all right. Thank you, Miss Lopez. I appreciate it as always.
My pleasure. Have a nice day.
You too. Okay, so at the jail, you are Andrew Mitchell, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And we will take up your case on the record in 2024 CR 45, State of Kansas versus Andrew Elijah Mitchell, County Attorney Jill Gillette for the state, Mr. Mitchell in person, in custody, and pro se. Mr. Mitchell, this is your formal first appearance. You are accused by the state in count 1 of unlawful possession of the controlled substance marijuana and/or its active ingredient THC. As charged, this is a Class B non-person misdemeanor. The penalties for that could be a maximum 6 months in jail and $1,000 in fines. In count 2, you're accused of unlawfully possessing drug paraphernalia in the form of a smoking pipe and knife used or possessed to either store or contain, conceal, inject, ingest, inhale, or otherwise introduce controlled substance into the human body. As charged, this is also a Class B non-person misdemeanor with penalties of up to 6 months in the county jail and another fine of up to $1,000.
$10,000 cash there.
In count 3, you're accused of transporting an open container.
Whoever's talking at the jail needs to stop because I can't hear over it.
Yeah, is there someone there? Is there a deputy that's not muted or? Oh, I muted the defendant, but I need to make sure I can still talk to the defendant. In count 3, sir, you're charged with transporting an open container of alcoholic beverage in an automobile on a highway or street open to the public, specifically an open bottle of Captain Morgan alcohol.
Even I know that's rum. I don't know why it's so funny the way that she just said that. Captain Morgan alcohol. Oh, see, wouldn't most people say Captain Morgan's? But I guess she's being she's making sure it's proper for the record. For the record, Susie. This kid was driving around with he's riding dirty with Captain Morgan, allegedly. And did we notice that he's pro se, ladies and gentlemen? Never a good idea. Even less of a good idea in Kansas.
This is charged as an unclassified misdemeanor. It carries its own special penalties of up to 6 months in jail, up to a $200 fine, and/or both. And if you have a prior conviction for transporting an open container, the court must suspend your license up to a year. In count 4, you're accused of operating your vehicle without proof of liability insurance. A B misdemeanor, up to 6 months in the county jail. But unlike the other 2 misdemeanors, this has a minimum fine that must be imposed of $300 up to $1,000. Now, if you can unmute so I can hear you. Do you have any questions so far, Mr. Mitchell, about what I've gone over?
Is there possible, can I apply for an RO?
An RO, an OR? Like
An
a-
OR, I apologize.
All right, well, we will get to that, but before we get to the issue of the attorney, do you have any questions about the charges?
As far as the open container, I was not under the influence of any
Okay,
of those
you're not
substances.
excuse me, you're not charged with DUI, which would be under the influence, but I'm not asking you just yet how you want to plead. Do you want to talk to an attorney before we proceed further on these charges? You do have the right to hire an attorney, and if you cannot afford one, you have the right to apply for court appointed.
I would like to apply for a court appointed.
All right, are you employed?
No,
How long have you been unemployed?
since I've been in about a week.
All right, what kind of work did you do before you became unemployed?
I was working for a Parks and Rec company. It's called REAP, Raytown Education Assistance Program.
All right, how old are you?
21.
You're 21, high school graduate,
Yes, ma'am.
and you've been employed for how long with the Parks and Recreation?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. And did you lose that job because you were incarcerated?
Yes.
All right, so do you think you could go back to that?
Yes.
And what do you get paid per month for that?
Per month, I made about $2,000.
2,000 a month, and you've been there 6 weeks? And are you married or single?
Single.
Do you have any minor children that you support?
No.
Do you pay any rent or mortgage?
No.
Okay. Do you have any expenses to speak of?
Yes, I have a car payment and insurance.
And what kind of vehicle do you have?
Nissan Sentra.
And what do you pay per month for the Nissan?
$401.
And that's per month?
Yes.
And then you said you pay insurance. How much per month for your insurance?
Insurance has gone to $520, I believe.
A month?
Do you have any other expenses? Telephone, anything?
Currently, no, not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're
Hopefully
aware of.
you
What
don't.
the fuck? Hold on. I have some fucking questions. $500 a month? That's a lot. I know. Here your traffic tickets and crashes increase your insurance, and there's nowhere to shop around, William. We only have one insurance company, and it's owned by the government. It's called ICBC, the Insurance Corporation of British Columbia. And They don't even pay on accidents, even though people have to pay fucking insurance. They literally got together and they're like, well, you know, it's very expensive when we have to pay people for when they get in car accidents. So we're gonna limit that to like, I'm not joking. Like they've just said we just don't pay out accidents. And you don't have any other choice. But you still have to pay insurance. Remember that. Seriously, they have like a $5,000 limit for accidents they'll pay out, and that's it. And you can't go to court. It's just not legal to do. It's so weird. Anyways, so I understand about having young kids and high insurance rates and not very fair insurance, but
if you had expenses. So you basically have an extra income of $1,079 to do with as you wish each month.
Yes. Actually, I apologize. Can you repeat that question again?
You basically have $1,079 you can do with as you wish each month after you've paid your bills. That puts you just a hair over the line or right at the guidelines. And you're not totally sure your job will be there when you get back, or are you?
I'm not completely sure, but I've talked to a friend that is in that company still, and he said he would talk to my manager.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and appoint Attorney Richard Paw. And I believe the deputy there can give you Mr. Paw's contact information. And Missy, when does he come back to court?
July 9th at 3:30.
You'll need to be back here.
ladies and gentlemen, Missy, the lady who really runs this court, if you watch it for any amount of time, you'll get to know very quickly that Missy is the one that gets anything and everything done, scheduled, handled, moving, etc.
By Zoom, July 9th at 3:30. But you need to make sure you've got good connection on the Zoom. If you're going to appear by Zoom, make sure we can see and hear each other. Okay. You said you live in Raytown, or did I maybe just infer that?
I live in Blue Springs, Missouri.
Okay. There is also, well, the attorney can talk to you about the diversion program. See if you're eligible. Your bond is set at $1,500, but you haven't been able to make that?
No, ma'am. I'm completely broke right now.
Probably a good reason we appoint an attorney then. You don't have family that's willing to help you out on that?
I've tried. I'm currently going through a hard time in my life.
Well, $1,500 sounds pretty reasonable for 2 misdemeanor drug charges and transporting open container and no vehicle insurance, and especially for an out-of-state resident. Ms. Gillette, is there anything you want to say about bond? Oh, go ahead, sir. I'll let you speak first.
I do have insurance. As far as I failed to show the insurance to the
Okay, well, I'm gonna
officer.
stop you there and have you talk to your attorney about that. He'll tell you what to do about that.
Okay.
That's good that you can provide proof, but he'll tell you how to address that. So let's let Ms. Gillette talk. Do you have anything you want to say about that on behalf of the state, Ms. Gillette?
Judge, as far as his bond is concerned, I'm asking for a cash surety bond. He was issued a citation to be here in court. He was given a break on the speeding because he was stopped for speeding and it wasn't added to his charges. And he was directed to be here March 19th, 24 at 1:15 p.m. by Zoom. He didn't contact anyone and didn't show up in court. We issued a warrant based on the type of charges these are for failure to appear in March on March 19th. It was taken over 2 months to find him and track him down. He was eventually arrested in Lenexa. He's also facing similar charges in Johnson County, currently in 23 CR 3142. possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, speeding, and also MIP, because he was 18 to 20 when he got stopped there, and he's had a birthday to turn 21 by our case. And that case was caught in September of 2023. So he's facing the same charges there with court-appointed counsel. Therefore, because he lives in Missouri, he failed to appear, he has the same charges elsewhere, I would ask for a cash surety bond on this individual. I don't mind if it is lowered. Right now, he's currently at $1,500. But I would still request a cash surety bond so that the bondsman is responsible for bringing him back to the state of Kansas should he choose not to come to court again.
Okay, well, Mr. Mitchell, I'm gonna leave your bond at 1,500. With all of those factors the state just recited, it could be more, but I'm gonna leave it at 15,000 cash or surety. He's been in jail, he said, a week, and then, Missy, is there any way we can get that any closer than July 9th? That's not that far away, but it is if you're sitting in jail, maybe.
Yeah, and you just said 15,000, but you meant 1,500, right?
I did. I just can't get my brain and my tongue to connect here. Yeah, 1,500. Hope I didn't scare you too much on that, young man. 1,500 cash or surety.
Wait, so doesn't that mean he could go to a bonding company and get out for 150? Right? I don't understand. I don't understand. I thought it was 15,000. And the 1,500 was cash surety. Was the 1,500 that he would need to get out. You're telling me it's only 1,500? But you can't be telling me there's not a fucking bond company that's sitting there. Huh. I feel bad for the kid. Weed charges. He wasn't driving drunk. This is seeing people given PR bonds or OR bonds for a lot worse.
But yeah, can you get that any sooner than July 9th?
Mr. Paul's gonna be here a week from today
Can we try that?
if he can get discovery in time.
Ms. Gillette, do you think we can get discovery to Mr. Paul on time?
I can get it, everything except for DVDs to him today. We can scan and send him
All right.
the
And then-
paper.
And when we give him the appointment, or when you send that, let him know he's 21 years old and sitting in jail. And Missy, that's at what time? 3:30?
Yes.
Okay. So what day of the month is that?
June 18th at 3:30.
All right, June 18th, 1 week from today at 3:30. You'll be back here in court again, absent something unforeseen. And your attorney is Richard Paul, and I'd ask the jail to make you available to Mr. Paul so that you two can talk before that court date. And you can get him that proof of insurance that he's gonna want. Okay, if there's nothing further, we'll be in recess at this time. Mr. Mitchell, you are excused from these proceedings. Deputy, you will give him Mr. Paul's number and make it possible for him to talk to his attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You said to move it up to next week, Judge.
Yes, June 18th at 3:30.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, I will now look for a Mr. Is it Tin Nguyen? How would you pronounce it? Tin Nguyen?
Yeah, Thin
Tim, and then the
Yeah.
last one's pronounced
Nguyen.
Nguyen. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I'll double check. We are on the record in case number 24 FG10, State of Kansas versus Nenn. And
Oh, we have a kitty cat sighting. We have a kitty cat sighting. Kitty cat sighting for Mr. Thin Nguyen. So cute. Also, I don't know what's going on with Streamlabs. I apologize. I will look into it later. Streamlabs.
County Attorney Jill Gillette for the state and Mr. Nguyen in person and pro se. And sir, you're here on one count of fishing without a license.
No, no. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God, I'm gonna have to make this part into a video, and I'm gonna keep this in my ever-growing wildlife cases. Well, the other one was in Kansas too, that weird migratory bird case. It was so weird. Why would they not like educate and sell him a license? Like, I don't understand. Aren't you allowed to just buy the license? My God.
That is a misdemeanor, and that fine could be as high as $500. There could be a 30-day sentence with that. Those are pretty extreme, but those are possible. There is also a diversion program where you'd have to apply through Ms. Gillette's office. And if you paid an agreed upon fine, court costs, and a diversion fee, she'd probably just dismiss that ticket. Is that something you might be interested in?
Yes, definitely, Your Honor.
Okay.
So, well, so
You-
I didn't.
Okay, you do have the right to an attorney. You can
Mhm.
hire any attorney you want. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed, or you can waive the right and
Does anybody here feel good about their tax dollars going to this? This seems absurd to me. This better be egregious overfishing. If you are giving him a court-ordered fucking attorney, keep in mind that people don't get attorneys when they have a lot of issues, only when they're facing jail time. My God. Also, I thought America was like land of the free. Doesn't include fishing? Huh? Anyways, Miss Donna, thank you so much. Look at you fishing us out of the depths. Terrible pun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is it the ocean like allowed? I know you're supposed to have licenses and stuff. I know you are. I know, but let's hear this. Let's hear what he did. I'm just saying, remember, I'm not about not paying for the licenses. I'm saying I don't understand why this has to go before a judge. If you ticket somebody and they learn immediately, they buy the license, it's like no harm, no foul. This is why I'm confused about why this is now in front of a judge with the prosecutor handling this and them appointing an attorney.
represent yourself. I will tell you that if you had an attorney, he'd probably say, don't make any comments just yet. So That's
Okay.
something to think about, but I can enter a not guilty plea. You can always change that, but that will give you time to look into the diversion program and see if you want it. That will give you time to talk to an attorney or see if you want to apply for an attorney. Does that sound like something you want to do?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
And Missy, when's his court date? We're going to enter a not guilty and give him a court date.
August 2nd at 9.
August 2nd at 9. So you'll need to be back here by Zoom August 2nd at 9 if you're not already diverted. You should be able to get your diversion and not have to come back. Miss
Yeah.
Gillette, you want to give him your number to call for the diversion?
620-583. 620. 171.
71. So 820.
Guys, come on.
620. 620.
8171.
I got you.
So you're from Tennessee, is that right?
Yeah, so I just moved here.
Ah.
So the cost of, we went to Walmart to buy the fishing license.
But hang
And-
on, this isn't your trial. I
sorry.
don't want you to say anything that you might
Oh, my bad.
wish you hadn't. But I will tell you that you have 10 days to transfer your driver's license. And I think,
Yeah,
and then you've got it.
I already did that and I already bought the fishing license too. So,
All right, very good.
yeah.
All right, if there's nothing further then, I will see you back here August 2nd at 9 a.m. by Zoom if you're not already diverted. I would suggest you call the county attorney's office and get started on that right away, right now perhaps. All
Yes, ma'am. I'll call right now.
right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, and you're excused at this time. Now, I see someone sitting at the courthouse. Who might that be? Are you here, sir, on a 1:30 docket?
Yes,
Can you come up to the screen, please?
yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry, sir. Did you say you're supposed to be here at 1:30?
Yes.
And what is your name?
Mofwan Ashun.
Say that again, please, louder.
Mofwan Ashun.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to spell that for me. What's the first name?
Mofwan. NOC.
330 docket, Judge.
Okay, NOC.
NOC.
NOV.
Is he one, are you one of my gentlemen that speaks the Czech language? What
Yes.
language do you speak? Besides English, obviously.
Turkeys.
Czechese?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think we're going to have an interpreter here for you at 3 o'clock. Is that right, Missy? For 3:30?
At 3:30.
All right, so you need to be back here at 3:30 or a little before. And we'll have your interpreter for you. All right?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Jody. Check ease? I've never heard it described as that as well. Oh gosh. Guys, that was Kansas. Now we go to I just can't stop thinking about Jill's boyfriend who works at a tire shop and like just the small town vibes that I get from their whole life. Turkish, Turkish. Oh, maybe it was Turkish, Turkish.
Today I arraigned you. Excuse
Judge.
me.
Whoa. Yeah, excuse you is right. You're just literally like bouncing right up in here. We haven't even talked about where we are, what we're doing, what in the fuck is happening in some of these shots. Can we just have a minute? Can we just have 1 minute? Thank you. Okay, let's go.
and the charge on the arraignment was domestic violence as a first offense, but it has been amended to a domestic violence second offense. Excuse me, the allegation being that on June 9th of this year, he made an assault on Christina Lee Weissel, a resident or former resident of your household. The allegation is you're previously convicted of this on January 12th of last year. So if convicted of this, you face up to 1 year in jail. Do you understand the charge and the maximum possible penalty?
When was the first?
The allegation is that you were convicted on January 12th of last year.
Oh, yes.
I'm not here saying that you did it. I just want you to know that the charge has been amended to charge you with a second offense instead of a first offense.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and your rights are the same. Do you want me to go through the rights that you had that I went through yesterday, or you believe you remember them?
No, I remember.
Okay, your attorney, you requested, your attorney will still be representing you in this. The other matter that I need to address with you is an allegation that you violated the bond conditions. The bond condition, of course, being that you have no contact with Ms. Weissel. The allegation is that on June 10th, which was yesterday, you, let's see, looking for the specifics of it, that you are found in in violation of within 50 feet of the victim, Ms. Weissel, her residence or her place of employment. Do you understand the bond violation that is alleged?
Yeah, Your Honor, that's yesterday.
Hold on, just a minute. Yeah. Mr. Brown, have you had a chance to talk to him about that?
Yes, I have.
All right, is he going to contest that, or what's his position?
Yeah, I believe he is going to contest that, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Brooker, as to, are you seeking, and I realize I haven't made a determination on the alleged bond violation, are you seeking a change in his bond at this point?
Judge, to be honest, I don't have any information about this violation. I don't have that sheet in front of me. I'm not sure. I've not been in contact with the victim yet, and I don't think Ms. Weber has yet either.
Okay.
So I don't know the nature of the violation. So I guess I'm just going to leave it to the court's discretion.
The sheet that I have. Oh, Mr. Brown, go ahead.
In speaking with Mr. O'Rourke, I'm not necessarily sure he is going to contest that, but he may admit to that with certain reasons and explanation.
You want me to inquire of him, or how would you like me to
If
proceed?
you could do that. In my conversation, I believe he would admit to a technical bond violation here, but he does have explanation to go with that.
Mr. Weissel, I'm sorry, Mr. Turner, Mr. O'Rourke, I'll get it right yet. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
You just go ahead and tell me what happened. If you'd raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead. What happened concerning the alleged bond violation?
So yesterday, when I got released or whatever, like I went to my house. Well, first I contacted her son, Cash, at 15, to make sure that they weren't going to be there. And they were going to my son's birthday party at her grandparents, so I knew like that they weren't going to be. It was my understanding that like after we had our Zoom meeting yesterday, that I just had to have a third party a mediator present. I had no idea that that third party needed to be an officer, nor did I have any idea that like I couldn't go to my residency at all. And that's kind of where I got.
Really, bud? Because I mean, this is the wrong crowd to do that with, because we watch these all the time and they are so clear about you not being allowed to go back to where the victim is. And the third party is the words that they use when you have the police assist you one time in getting your things. So, like, what part of the conversation did you listen to? Because I ain't ever heard them be like, you can just go back with a third party, whoever works, as long as she's not there. Like, no, that's not bond conditions, sir. Also, day one being released, and then he ruins the kid's birthday. Is that what I'm hearing? He ruins Cash's birthday? This is terrible.
Got mixed up, so like I went there to go grab my stuff, my shaving kit and that, and change of clothes and stuff to where I could go to where I was staying and be able to take a shower and stuff after a long day yesterday of being in here.
Okay,
And that's
when you
pretty
went
much
there,
it.
was she there?
No, Your Honor, no one was at the house.
All right,
Made
well,
sure of that.
here's what I'm inclined to do. It is a violation. I think you now fully understand no contact period. You can go through a third party because I understand you have children together. But you cannot have contact, you can't pass messages and things like that. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what I'm going to do is maintain the bond, although there's one change I think that needs to be made into it. I'll get to in a second. But if it comes back to me again like this, you're very likely to remain in jail until this case gets resolved.
Okay.
Just so you understand that. If you have any
Yes,
questions about what you can or can't do, call your attorney before you do it.
Okay.
All right, having said that, did you say there's a?
There is, the cash is included as a protected person.
Okay.
Cash Weissel.
All right, apparently.
Yeah, so then you just admitted to 2 violations, dumbass. Cash is also listed as a protected person. Oh my God, read your paperwork, people.
There's a request that Cash Weissel be included as a protected person. Is he a stepson of yours or a son?
He's a stepson, and I've been basically a dad too since he's been 3.
Okay,
and
sure. Hold on. So, Ms. Brooker, what's the basis for that request? Was he part of this?
I just assume that the victim probably just does not want him using her son to be the third party. He is a minor. I'm just basing this on my last contacts on prior cases.
And I think that's appropriate, sir. That could change in the future, but him being a minor, he's subject to his mother's rules, not to your rules, even though you may have acted as his father during that time. So during the pendency of this case, while it is ongoing, that would be part of the requirements that you not have any contact with him either.
Okay.
And I'm not saying you violated the order yesterday when it's.
Well, I did allegedly, Jessica, but thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Oh, I almost hit the wrong button. Do. I almost hit the intro button. That's okay. Thank you so much. Reminder that members only is on Sundays, each and every Sunday. Yeah, you can't be using a minor child of the victim to be the intermediary there. Why? What's going on here? Oh, jeez. Thank you again, Jessica and Miss Donna. You guys rock. We're rocking on a Tuesday. Rocking it on a Tuesday, baby. Love it.
Happened because that wasn't part of the order then, but it is now. Okay, so you'll be released. I will continue the bond. You'll be released. Your hearing date will be the same. You should have that information. You should get a hold of your attorney right away.
All right, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, we're all set then. Thank you. Officer, we need Mr. Trobridge next.
Yes, sir.
one of them and three claims.
Correct.
Seven, nine.
Is the total of all three of those? Yeah. Thank you.
Who's next?
Right, sir, are you Michael Trobridge?
I am.
All right, I have 4 files here to deal with you on. One of them is an arraignment of a shoplifting charge. The other 3 are fines and costs. I'm going to do the arraignment first. In that matter, it's a file from 2023. The allegation in it is that on December 19th of 2023, you committed retail fraud, commonly known as shoplifting, from Walgreens in Otsego County. It's charged as a second or subsequent offense. So if convicted, you face up to 1 year in jail. You understand the charge and the maximum possible penalty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your rights include the right to an attorney. If you wanted one but could not afford one, I would appoint one for you, or you could proceed without an attorney. You have the right to a jury trial in this matter. If you wanted a trial but not a jury trial, you could request a bench trial. At that trial, the prosecutor would be required to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If the prosecutor could not do that, the matter would be dismissed. At that trial, you'd have the right to remain silent. And if you chose to remain silent, your silence could not be used against you. On the other hand, if you wanted to testify, you could. You'd have the right to have the court subpoena or order witnesses on your own behalf to be present. And you'd have the right to have you or an attorney ask questions of witnesses against you. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
As to an attorney, do you plan to hire your own, seek a court-appointed attorney, or proceed without one?
Proceed without one.
All right. Ms. Brooker, what is the people's position on this case?
Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to, he's got a number of files, so I'm just trying to, unless the
Never
court
goes
wants to arraign him on all of them and then.
Well,
we-
the other ones are just fines and costs that he owes.
Oh, okay.
The
Judge,
two
he does
charges
have
of-
he does have a criminal history, including larceny. He does have a number of assaultive offenses as well. He does have prior retail fraud convictions. And this was a somewhat low dollar amount as far as the restitution. The restitution is only going to be around $7, it looked like. So I would ask that the court, just given his history of failing to appear, impose some type of bond that he must post and not just do it as a PR bond, especially given his criminal history. He does have a number of past convictions for.
I'm not trying to bond out. I want to plead guilty today, so bond is not an issue. I would like to get this matter cleared up.
Okay. Is there any offer then on the table, Ms. Brooker?
There is not an offer on this one, Judge.
Okay. So, sir, knowing that you wish to plead guilty, it does carry, I'm not saying this would be the sentence, but it does carry a maximum possibility of 1 year in jail. You intend to plead guilty at this point?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, before I do so, I'd like to state that I have stuff going on in other counties as well that I'm trying to get this cleared up so that I can go take care of them as well. And this
All right.
larceny that she's talking about happened as a
Hold
juvenile.
on. That would come later. But let me ask you, do they have a hold on you at this jail so they'd transfer you to another
Yes.
county? Okay,
Yes,
all
Your
right.
Honor.
Okay, but do you want to go ahead then with a guilty plea on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you'd raise your right hand, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, on the date in question, which was December 19th of the year 2023, did you take items or an item from Walgreens in Otsego County without paying for it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you do that intentionally?
No, Your Honor. The cashier actually handed me the cigarettes and
If you
accepted
did?
my money
Okay.
and then called the cops. So I did
What?
end up leaving the store without. Yeah, the cashier, it was a pack of cigarettes. I got a pack of cigarettes.
The cashier handed me the cigarettes. I put them in my pocket that were behind the counter. She accepted my money and then asked me for my ID. I didn't have it on me, so then she threw a fit, and I didn't even think she had already accepted my cash. So I had already had the cigarettes. I walked out of the store. When the cop showed up, I still had a brand new pack of cigarettes. It wasn't intentional, but I did leave the store without paying for them technically.
Did you said you gave the money?
Yes, the cashier took the money from me and then asked me after she had already taken.
I get it, but did she, after she asked that question, did she give you the money back?
Yes, but then she didn't even say nothing about the cigarettes. She just said that she couldn't sell to me. Well, she had already handed them to me and I had already gave her the money, so I had them in my pocket. I didn't think, I just walked out.
Can I ask him a question? Can I ask him a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Trobridge, when you walked out with the cigarettes, did you also take the money back from her as well?
Yes, that's what I'm saying is I did I said that I left the store without paying technically, but I did give her the money and she gave it back. I just had the cigarettes and I didn't think because they were already in
understand
my
what you're
pocket.
saying. I just have a question for Ms. Brooker now. You satisfied there's a factual basis?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, as am I with that. So I would accept the plea. Now we'll get to the other things. And Ms. Brooker, you had said some things before, but first of all, before I ask us to sentencing, Mr. Trobridge, what county or counties have holds on you where they would transport you? Do you know?
Grand Traverse and Emmett.
And what are the charges you're facing there?
Retail frauds as well. And it's for fines and costs on a retail fraud from years ago. And the other one is a domestic case that happened years ago that I owe money for as well.
So in both cases, it's just fines and costs. It's not your awaiting trial or something like that. Okay. And
correct, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Brooker, then as to sentencing.
I just note for the court again, according to our records, he has around 6 prior retail fraud convictions, a number of domestic violence convictions, a few R&O convictions, and some other traffic convictions.
What does the domestic has to do with a retail fraud?
Hold it, man, or sir. Hold it, sir. Let her speak, then you'll get your chance.
I don't think based on his history, he would do well on probation. I would just ask the court to order the $7.41 to Walgreens for restitution, and I'd ask the court to just impose a jail sentence.
All right, sir, is there anything you wanted to say before I pass sentence?
Yeah, I get that I have like an extensive history, but she's like bringing a ton of stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with this case into it. Talking about prior domestics. I'm not here for a domestic. I'm here for retail fraud and fines and costs. And she's trying to mention larcenies that happened when I was 17 as a juvenile. So I don't see how she's able to clearly state something that happened as a juvenile over,
I don't know.
everybody.
Those are still things the court can consider. Obviously, the older something is, the less it gets considered. But you have the two cases. One you mentioned, Emmett County.
The first thing she said.
Hold on. You mentioned a case in Emmett County you owe money on. When did that take place?
In 2017 or 18.
All right, I have 3 cases here that you owe money on. One's a retail fraud alleged to have taken place in February of 2020. No longer alleged, I guess, because there was a judgment of conviction. Another, that's a failure to stop after a collision, also in 2020. And a third case, that's driving on license suspended 2021. But there is one retail fraud here from about 3.5 or 4 years ago. Here's what I'm going to do on the 3 cases that you owe fines and costs on, plus restitution. At least on one case, there was probably restitution, maybe on 2. I'm going to just dismiss any fines and costs. The restitution you'll still owe because I can't forgive that. Plus, there's about $125 on each case that I cannot forgive, but your amount will be significantly reduced on that. And you need to contact the court as soon as you're released from jail to make payment
Yes, thank you,
arrangements.
Your Honor.
Okay, hold on, I'm not done yet. On the new case, Ms. Brooker, did you say $7.41
Correct.
was the restitution?
Yep.
All right, that would be assessed along with the crime victim fee of $75 and statewide judicial assessment of $50. Ordinarily, on this case, I would do fines and costs. I am going to sentence you to 30 days in jail with credit for time served. I just think given your record, given what we're dealing with, that's an appropriate sentence. As opposed to the full 1 year, that would be a possibility. All right, so you get credit for time served on this matter, and then other than what you owe, which is, like I say, significantly reduced, your obligations to the court will be completed. All right, so that does conclude these matters, sir. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, I think that does conclude our arraignments. Next, we'll be going on to the NA cases.
The NA cases. Well, that's good enough for us. We are almost done anyways. In fact, we are done, my friends. I know it is early, but there's other things to watch tonight, other things to do. Mikey, it's like Creed with chases. You pop up and I'm almost done. These are just NA cases, not available. I do hope that you guys had a good time today. Remember that I love you. I am proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.